Now, we've been looking forward to hearing from our observer and friend in Athens, Michael Chiotinis. This has been a big week. So, Michael, you take it away and proceed as you think best. I do have some questions, but why don't you give us the overview?
Okay. Well, firstly, we have to. I suppose we have to talk about a bit. We have to talk a bit about the deal between Greece and the Eurogroup,
right?
And the famous Varoufakis list of reforms.
Right.
It has gone through extreme criticism from every political force to the left of Syriza, but also from right-wingers, whose hysterical rhetorical, they jump between the type of rhetoric that says Syriza is making a U-turn and is therefore one and the same with the old government. That's one type of rhetoric. And the other type is Syriza are a bunch of dangerous Eurosceptics who bring catastrophe. And the funny thing is they're going back and forth between the two rhetorics in a psychotic manner. No one can, many times in the same statement. So that's funny. The thing is, the right-wingers have lost their meaning for existence. Their political existence is mostly useless, demonstrably, because even if not the complete program of Syriza is implemented, things are going to the right direction, at least, and there is an end to austerity. Now, I have to talk a bit about the deal. First, there are some bad things. There's the main thing is the main bad thing is there's a danger, as I see it, of legitimizing the legal framework of the old bailouts, a legal structure not seen even in colonies or these kind of situations. But I don't know what they are very careful in the way that they are constructing the deal, but there is this danger of legitimizing the legal framework. Now, the good thing is that it buys time. It stops further austerity, and it gives you the opportunity for Syriza to show that there is another way of doing things. And there may be is another way for Europe as well. Now, in this agreed list of reforms, there we have the half of the Salonika program of reforms. Some say this is the old memorandum. It's not. It demonstrably isn't. Don't forget that it's only for the next 4 months. So, of course, it's not going to be all the complete Syriza program. It's about half of it, or 1/3. Now, built in this list, because anyone can read it in different ways. Many people can read it differently.
The word is creative ambiguity, I believe, from Varoufakis.
Yes, creative or constructive ambiguity. Now, this constructive ambiguity serves, in my view, two purposes. The first is there are no specific numerical targets, because a country is not a company. Okay, things go as predicted. Some things go as predicted, other things don't. And the finance minister Varoufakis said to the Eurogroup, "Well, I want to make promises that I can keep, because Greece needs to regain its credibility. And how can I regain credibility if I promise something that I cannot deliver? Because I'm not it's a country, it's not a company." And the second purpose, I think, is that it leaves space for stretching of the interpretations, so that Mr. Schäuble, for example, can pass it through the parliament, having the rhetoric by the infamous newspaper Bild. Now, today, Tsipras has announced the legislative initiatives that will come to Parliament, voted and passed into law during next week. And there are four legislative initiatives. Let me tell you a bit about this.
Four bills.
Four bills. First, food and electricity for 300,000 households, as promised. A housing program for 30,000 homeless families, as promised. The second bill includes the clearance of debts owed to the public. It will include a haircut on debts that cannot be repaid, and a kind of settlement, up to 100-month plan to repay the rest in such a way that the installments represent a certain small percentage of the taxpayer's income, so that he and his family can survive with the remaining income. Such an agreement is also coming during the next weeks for debts to the banks. So that's the second one. The third one is a complete moratorium on foreclosures on primary residence. And the fourth is for the old public television reinstituted, all employees hired back, and those kind of things.
Right.
Now, measures that are delayed during these 4 months. Let's not forget the deal is about 4 months. The first is the reinstitution of the tax-free income bracket. There's nothing about that. There used to be a tax-free income bracket for small incomes, of course, gone under the IMF policy, and they're not reinstituting that right now. The second one is the restoration of the minimum wage where it was 3 years ago. This is very important, and I'm not happy about that, but it will be delayed for maybe a year or more, or at least for these 4 months. The third delayed bill is subject is the haircut of the public debt. It's part of the negotiations anyway, beginning from this point on. Although the Speaker of the Parliament is putting together an audit committee for the public debt. I don't know if this will help, but it certainly is a step in the right direction. Also, the Finance Minister, of course, says clearly, in every way that the debt is not viable. It's not, we cannot service this debt. Something has to be done. But it needs to be part of a negotiation. And the main thing, the fourth thing that is delayed, in my view, is the big thing. There's everything that has to do with economic growth and jobs. There's nothing on that front. But again, this is 4 months of making some reforms to stabilize the country, stabilize the economy. And during these 4 months, there has to be a negotiation for growth and jobs programs for the entire continent. We don't have the means anyway to finance any job program, or this has to be passed through the central bank.
Michael, why don't you stay for 1 second? We just have a couple of other questions,
Yes.
if you could, and we'll be back on World Crisis Radio. Welcome to the second hour of World Crisis Radio. Here it's Friday, the 27th of February. Now, we've got a couple of more minutes left with Michael Chiotinis in Athens. Michael, I have to ask you, every international cable TV program that I've seen is playing up the fact that a group estimated by them at 450, but it looks to me like black bloc anarchists have burned some cars and smashed up some shop windows there in Athens. And then we also have this chorus of ultra lefts. The Russians showed a filmmaker who says this is no good, and of course we've got Max Kaiser with personal insults to Varoufakis. I was surprised, and Kaiser whining that this was a kowtow to Merkel. This is coming from somebody whose only question is, the question I would ask him is, are you short the euro, right? Are you trying to advance your own investments with this hysterical panic propaganda.
Yes, of course. Those are people investing in the breakup of the euro. Many political forces have invested in this, and there is a small part of Syriza that has invested in the breakup of the euro, or at least Brexit. They support the government, but they believe that we might have a greater freedom of choice of policy under a new national currency. But the fact is, the Varoufakis line is respected for now, and the thing is with the Varoufakis, he says we shouldn't think like Greeks, we should think like Europeans, and in my view, that's a correct view. We had today a demonstration, peaceful demonstration, by the KKE, the Communist Party of Greece. I didn't even see this thing you were saying about the anarchists. There were a couple of cars destroyed in a notorious neighborhood for this kind of activity. Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's part of everyday life in a way. There may be 10 people or 20 people going around smashing things. They may be crazies. There may be ideologues or...
To me, this looked like a photo opportunity organized by NATO intelligence. That's what I could see.
Yes, double agents giving, fanaticizing some ideologues and having a few 10 or 20 crazies. It's really overrated, not just overrated, it's ridiculous. It's simply ridiculous. The main thing is the Communist Party had a demonstration today, fair demonstration, not in the way that Syriza is, not the people that Syriza can summon, but some people, and they demand, I don't know, the complete change of everything that has been done during the past 5 years. It can be done in 5 days. It's 5 years. It's 5 years.
Let me just what we discussed off the air, right? The monumental, right? The classic example of a transformation is Franklin D. Roosevelt's 100 days. Hey, 100 days is 3 months and a week or even more, right? So the New Deal was too slow. Hey, it took 3 months. And now these people are out there whining. That is infantile leftism, an infantile disorder.
Yes. Also, we have, for the big things to set in, we maybe have to wait until the autumn. We have to wait until fall for some other countries to change government.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you have any idea who might be next? I'm looking maybe at Portugal. Is there a possibility there? Spain? That might change too, but unfortunately we have that answer from Iglesias where he says he really does not support the debt write-down, right? The debt haircut.
It's not a matter of whether you support it or not. It's going to happen. Debts that can be repaid won't be. I mean, and no one wants to break up the euro.
Except the British and the CIA.
Yes, the British are the only country that had a ministerial council about a possible Brexit with the British government, which doesn't concern them anyway. But you see the way they're planning. They were supporting Syriza, hoping that Syriza is going to bring a Brexit. But there's nothing of that on the table right now.
Precisely. What I heard at the time of the election was the only exit that Syriza wants is the exit of Samaras from politics, and that's it.
Yes, of course, because as I told before, they don't have a reason to exist anymore. these guys.
Okay, last question then. What's coming up? It looks like the action now shifts into the parliament to get some of these things passed. And what else can you see on the horizon now?
These four bills are coming next week, and it's kind of fast anyway, but because the parliament started a week ago. It's not as fast as you might think. The government started existing the next day of the election, but the parliament was summoned later on, and this week is the actual time that legislative work can be done. This was the first week. Some other works had to be done, and now we have clear legislation. And of course, we were waiting for a deal from Europe to give us time. This is the main thing. And this is what Varoufakis got from this. Time. Time is very important right now. And we need time to legislate. And I'm saying, I'm always saying, start legislating. Just pass the laws, pass the bills.
Pass the laws. Very good. Yes. Pass a bill. Okay. Michael, thank you again. We're really thankful you keep everything on an even keel. You know what's happening. These other people, Max Kaiser, he has absolutely no idea. And these infantile ultra-lefts, these people are really beneath contempt. So we're looking forward to talking to you again next week and just about every week from now on. Hope you can stay with us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Okay.